We're Team 7, and we're excited to discuss today the strategic decision for PopMart in the US market. In 2010, as a tiny lifestyle shop in Beijing, just a small boutique with a big idea. Over the next few years, it spread across major cities and started experimenting with designer goods. Everything changed in 2015 with the Molly IP partnership, which set the stage for this 2016 blind box explosion that would redefine the brand. From there, PopMart scaled at high speed, building an artist ecosystem, rolling out robo-shops, expanding overseas in 2019, and going public in 2020. By 2023, it entered the US market, and today it's positioning itself as a global cultural powerhouse. Timing in 2010 couldn't have been better. China's economy was recovering, disposable income was rising, and young consumers were embracing small luxuries. Urbanization and lifestyle malls created a perfect high traffic spaces for PopMarts, stores, and vending machines. Youth culture was shifting towards anime, streetwear, and collectibles, while social media amplified unboxing culture. National pride in domestic brands was also rising, and government support for creative industries aligned with PopMart's IP-driven model. It was the right idea at exactly the right moment. Fast forward to today, PopMart operates 6 major business lines: designer toys, global retail stores, robo shops, e-commerce, IP licensing, and large-scale exhibitions. Retail drives about half of revenue, with online and robo shops rounding out its omni-channel model. Plush and character-driven IP leads product sales, fueling expansion across 30 plus countries. And at the center of it all is the blind box model. Lowest price points reduce risk, but the thrill of the unknown keeps people coming back. The sunk cost effect pushes collectors to complete sets, and rare pieces can sell for thousands. Nearly half of frequent buyers aged 18 to 30 spend over $100 a month on blind boxes. It's this blend of psychology, affordability, and resale value that make blind boxes such a powerful global engine, and why PopMart continues to scale worldwide. Now, with that, I'm excited to pass this on to Chang Young.
Going into the global market position, in the broader collectible space, PopMart occupies what we describe as a mass premium position. Unlike Funko, which depends heavily on licensed IP and mass retail channels, PopMart owns a majority of its characters, notably the Labubu, which is estimated to be valued at around $500 million just for its IP. At the same time, it operates at much greater scale and accessibility than luxury art toy players like Japan's Medicom. Its vertically integrated retail ecosystem, which includes physical stores, robo-shops, and digital channels, gives it the pricing power and merchandising control. This structure allows PopMart to combine higher margins with global consumer reach. PopMart's global position is powered by a very specific demographic. Its core consumers are young, urban, Gen Z, and millennial buyers, more so working adults than children. The segment skews heavily female and middle income, with discretionary spending power for small, emotionally driven purchases. This is not a toy market in the traditional sense, it's a lifestyle and identity market. Many consumers actively participate in fan communities and purchase through both online and offline channels. At the macro level, PopMart is targeting the designer toy slice of a nearly $300 billion global collectibles industry. While China remains the largest revenue base, the center of gravity is beginning to shift outward. Overseas markets now represent nearly 40% of total revenue and are growing faster than domestic sales. The brand's footprint spans more than 30 countries, though performance varies from region to region. Southeast and East Asian markets drove the early momentum, but by 2025, the American market emerged as a breakout region with triple-digit growth fueled by social media and expanding retail presence. This signals that PopMart's long-term market position will depend on global execution rather than domestic dominance alone. The Bangkok flagship store shown here, which is the brand's largest global store, shows how PopMart is making waves abroad through elaborate retail environments designed to impress and attract young customers worldwide.
I'll take it from here to talk about PopMart's focus on the US market and the stakeholders in that market. PopMart has transitioned from a niche import to a retail powerhouse in the US. The numbers are staggering, a 2,000% growth rate in transaction data between 2024 and 2025. We're not just looking at a toy company here, we're looking at the leader of a 294 billion global kid adult sector that is successfully capturing US discretionary spending. Now, PopMart's expansion is aggressive and data-driven. By the end of 2025, they'll exceed 50 flagship stores and robo-shops in the United States. But the real secret sauce isn't just the storefronts, it's the data. There's a membership program, and there's 1.7 million Americans that are a part of it. So with that data, PopMart knows exactly what we want before we do. And they use this data to refine product drops and regional exclusive that keep the hype around products alive. Now, success in the US requires a delicate dance between three different key stakeholders. First, regulators. As a Chinese firm, PopMart faces unique scrutiny. They're navigating a minefield of tariffs and safety standards that threatens their margins. Second, retail partners. To win, they really need the best storefronts. PopMart has secured gatekeeper relationships with mall giants such as Simon and Westfield, placing their stores next to Apple and Lululemon to cement a premium brand image. Third, the competition. PopMart is fighting a two-front war. They are more artistic and high quality than the mass market Funko, yet more accessible and affordable than the $500 luxury Bear Bricks products. Now, PopMart's ultimate goal is really to own the middle ground in the US market. By blending original IP like Labubu with a gamified blind box experience, they've created a cult-like community that transcends traditional toy collecting. The litmus test for global scalability is truly happening right now in the US market. And the question itself isn't if PopMart will grow, it's just how much of that $294 billion sector they'll take with them. Thank you.
PopMart US expansion shows staggering numbers with transaction growth hitting 2,000% through 2025. While we identify a critical resilience deficit beneath this success, the first major pressure is geopolitical exposure. PopMart is navigating a minefield of tariffs. With a US tariff on Chinese toys pushing, the company has been forced to hike prices to $28, testing the limits of its middle ground positioning between mass market Funko and luxury Bear Brick. While expanding supply chains to Vietnam and Mexico, this diversification is costly and facing efficiency lacks. This strain is compounded by strategic over-reliance. The Monster IP accounted for nearly 35% of revenue in 2025, but recent data suggests the Labubu craze is cooling, with resale premiums crashing over 80%. If this trend fractures before new IPs take hold, the foundation crumbles. The root cause is that PopMart operates as a viral trend merchant, not a narrative IP platform. Despite having data from 1.7 million US members, they use these insights primarily to engineer short-term hype drops rather than to build long-term storytelling. Unlike Disney or Nintendo or Pokemon, whose characters live in rich narrative worlds, IPs like Labubu are hollow IPs, visually distinct but narratively empty. This lack of depth creates a transactional relationship with customers, combined with operational growing pains, where rapid store expansion into premium malls like Simon and Westfield has outpaced their customer service infrastructure. PopMart risks damaging its brand equity just as it tries to scale.
All right, thank you. I'll take it from here. So we evaluated three paths for PopMart in the US. Option A is rapid retail scaling. More stores increase the brand's visibility, but it doesn't address the tariff exposure or the IP concentration risk. Option C, a localized supply chain, important, but PopMart's already moving on this. They've announced production in Mexico, Vietnam, and Indonesia this year, so we see this more of a supporting element rather than the primary strategy. Our recommendation here centers on option B, leading with the narrative backed by localization. The gap we've identified is that PopMart's characters have strong visual appeal but limited character depth. There's no story universe, no animated content, no cross-media presence. That creates exposure to aesthetic fatigue as hype cycles cool. To address this, we're proposing three pillars. First, short-form animated content for top IPs like Skull Panda, Hirono, and Labubu, and these would be distributed across YouTube, TikTok, and a variety of streaming platforms. This builds story depth and sustained engagement with the audience. Second, a deeper US creator partnership. Peach Ride is a good starting point, but we'd recommend expanding collaborations with actual American artists and designers to build cultural relevance in this market. Third, gaming integration. PopMart's collectible mechanics, the rarity tiers, surprise elements, community trading lend themselves really well to digital platforms like Roblox and mobile gaming partnerships. Localized production supports all of this by ensuring that when a narrative-driven launch generates demand, fulfillment happens in days rather than weeks. In terms of risks that we've identified, content production carries significant upfront costs, and there's certainty around whether US consumers will actually engage with the story-driven versions of these characters. There's also quality control risk as production shift to new facilities. However, we believe all of these are manageable relative to the risk remaining of dependent on hype-driven demand cycles. To summarize, PopMart has built a really impressive US footprint in a short amount of time, but the current model is over-indexed on viral momentum and a single IP. Our recommendation gives the company a path to convert that early traction into something durable by investing in the content and storytelling infrastructure that separates a lasting brand from a passing trend. Thank you.